Hi everyone. I just broke my hot light. That's why I was a minute or two late. I brought my hot light ready to light everything up, and I don't know if the bulb just blew, so it's gonna be a little bit shadowy. I'm so sorry. I did have my light ready. Oh dear. Okay, well, best laid plans of mice and men, and that light's not going to work. No, it doesn't matter how many times I turn it on and off, it's not going to work, is it? Okay, I'm sorry ladies, it's going to be a little bit shadowy because the light's behind me, and I don't think I can change that now. I wonder if I just put the light, no, I can't put the light on from my document camera either. Okay, well, that's the joy of Facebook, isn't it? If it had been a video, I could have gone and changed the light for my lamp, but now I can't. Okay, but today we're going to make this little wobble card, and I've made these in the past. Not quite this design, I've made different designs, but I love these little wobble springs. And it's just like a little plastic spring that you can buy from, I bought mine from Amazon, but you know, I think you can get them in loads of places, loads of craft shops and things. And mine look like this. So they're these little action wobble springs, and they come in packs of 12, and I don't think they cost very much at all. So, oh, I'm sorry, it is so dark now that I can see on the computer. It is shadowy. I do apologise. Okay, so they're like this, just like a little piece of hard plastic and then a little clear cellophane part with a spring. But if you don't have these, I'll show you how to make one as well. They're really simple to make. Okay, so I'm going to use paper from our 2020-2022 in colours. Well, I'm actually using card from there. And this card that I made, I used the Fresh Freesia from the 2021. But the designer series paper that I'm going to be using is the penguin paper. And I thought, because it's got the Misty Moonlight in, I thought we'd just use the Misty Moonlight card. So that's why I've got the in colours from 2020. Okay, so I've got Misty Moonlight, and I'm just going to make a simple base. So just chop it right down the middle, and it really doesn't matter if you have your card so that it's opening this way, or if you have the fold on the other side. I'm going to, let's just chop this down. I'm going to chop it at 4 1/4 and pop one on one side and score at 5 1/2. There we go. And then it's exactly the same way that I had this one opening. Okay, I don't need it to be the other way. Okay, so there's my card base. Next I'm going to cut some designer series paper, and I'm probably going to use just the same ones that I used on here. So I'm going to cut a little piece of the spotty paper and a little piece of the striped, but you could use some of the paper that has all the animals on as well. And if I put this here, you can see the sizes that I'm cutting. So I've got my base here. The first piece I need is 5 1/2 by 2 3/4, and that's the piece that's going to be at the top here. So find myself a little piece of that. Okay, so that's this design, and 2 3/4 is all I need. So if I just cut a piece off at 5 1/2, and then let's see if this is going to be wide enough at 2 3/4. Yeah, I was just unsure as to whether we were going to have enough at that side. Okay, I'm going to keep this little strip because this would be enough of a piece to just have on a little accent on another card. Okay, so there's our spotty piece. And no, there's our stripy piece. Now we need our spotty piece. Okay, and that's this little paper. And this needs to be 5.5 again. Let's trim it down. And we need this one at 1.5. There we go. And pop the trimmer down so I don't need it again at the moment. And then all I'm going to do is attach these to the base of the card, and we're going to butt it right up to the edges. I don't want there to be a gap between. And if we do it this way, this should be the exact size of your card base. Okay, it should just fit together really nicely, really easily. Hi Laurie, nice to see you. I just broke my light. So I had it all ready so that it would be a lovely bright picture, and as I turned the light on I broke the bulb, so I do apologise, it's a little bit dark. And we're making a really quick and simple little wobble card. So this is the card we're making, and it's got a little wobble spring underneath my little penguin here. It's a really cute one to make, and I know you've got grandchildren. I think it would be one that they really loved. Let's just glue this on. I got that light out specially. I went and found it from my knitting box because I usually use it when I'm doing cross stitch or if I'm knitting. So I went and got it all out ready, all set up, moved my desk around so that the light didn't make shadows anywhere, and then the bulb went. So, oh dear. How's your week, Laurie? Yeah, it's a nice little kid card. So it doesn't have to be for kids, it can be for big kids too. I'm just making sure that it doesn't overhang on any of the edges, and I'm just going to push that along. If you do get a little overhang, like this tiny bit here, just go down with your scissors. And just trim that little edge off. It's so tiny. It's tricky even cutting it because it's so thin. There we are. That's this little bit. So, it's chilly today, wasn't it, outside? Hi Jane, hi. You didn't miss anything. All you missed was me breaking my hot light bulb. So it was a minute or two late because I just got the lamp set up and then I broke the bulb. So that's why it's still a little bit shadowy, and I am sorry. Okay, so making just this quick little card, Jane, with a little wobble on it. And all we've done so far is make the base in Misty Moonlight. We've cut 2 pieces of designer series paper from the little penguin set, and I've chosen the stripes and the dots, but you could just as easily choose, you know, this kind of a paper where you've got a pattern on and maybe just have the stripes at the top as well. Okay, so that would look pretty too. Okay, so next we need little penguin. Now you can cut out the penguin. If you wanted to cut it from the paper, you could do that. So no, you didn't miss anything, and I do love a wobble card. I love to send these to my great nieces and great nephews because they will sit and play with them for ages. Okay, so I'm going to find all my little penguin pieces, and I'm going to use this little outline. I'm going to use the little red nose. The eyes are already on here, so we don't need to stamp those. The other little things that we need to do are just his feet. And then I've got these little stars as well, or snowflakes, because I'm going to put those on the little backing circle for him. So I've got my Memento black and my little penguin. Let's move that base out. And only other thing I'm going to need is my punch. So, and I know that I'm going to put it in. I don't want to punch this piece as well, so I'm going to stamp my little penguin over on this side, on this long side here. So, oh, 2 dog walks today, Laurie. Ooh, I bet you were cold. I came out of the ranch house and I thought, oh, it looks really nice. The sky's blue and ooh, it was a biting wind. Okay, so I'm just going to hold that for a second or two because I want it to be quite black. And I find that if I hold it for a second or two longer, it seems to soak in a bit better and you don't get such a blotchy image. If you do find that's a little bit blotchy, what you can just do is take one of the Stampin' Right markers and where it might be blotchy, just colour it in with your little black marker. So I've just filled this one up, so it's a little bit juicy on this end. So yeah, I do love the fact that you can fill these up again with the inks. Okay, so I'm trying to keep out of my own shadow here. Next thing we need is going to be my real red. Yeah, it is a cute little set, isn't it, Jane? Cute little penguin. And the paper is really sweet too. And I've started to use a few more of the things that might have retired, but I know other people still have as well as me. So, oh, I just can't see where his nose is. That was okay. So I'm using some retired things as well, because otherwise they just sat in the drawer and that's no good for anybody. Okay, so I've got my Mango Melody and that's what I'm going to do his little feet with. If I can open it, there we go. And, oh, that's not feet, this one's feet. Have you been at work this week, Jane? There we go, there's his little feet all done. And then I'm just going to punch him out. Let me see. I'm just going to line him up. And what I tend to do is I put the paper in with my right hand and with my left hand I start to close the punch. And then I can sort of hold it still and I know if it's centered or if it's where I want it to be. There we go. Put these on one side because I don't need those. I just need my little penguin guy. And then I've cut out one of the small circles just using the layering circles. I've got a little piece of scrap paper. I'm just going to put a few of these little stars or snowflakes on. And this one, because my accent colour was the Fresh Freesia, I stamped the snowflakes in the Fresh Freesia. But for this one, I'm going to do my Misty Moonlight because my card base is Misty Moonlight and my accents are going to be Misty Moonlight. Okay, so I'll find my little stars. I'm only going to stamp them at the top and I don't want them to be all the way over. Just pop a few on just like that. You're only going to see a couple of them, so you don't need to do lots. What colour did I use for his beak? I did real red for his little nose. I didn't do a beak, I gave him like a little Rudolph nose. And I did on the other card, whoops, I've thrown him away now. I did on the other card too, look. I just put that little red nose. Okay. And then I'm just going to glue him down. I'm not going to pop him up on dimensionals or anything, just because we've already got this little wobble on it as well. So, are we really busy? Oh. Still lots of people, I would think, coming to get that rapid antigen testing for travelling as well. So let's just pop him on there. So busy, busy, busy. Okay, now while I leave him to dry, I'm going to show you these little wobble springs again. Now, Where did I put my little packet of them? I hid them somewhere. I had them. Oh, here they are. Okay, so these are the ones I've got. I've had these for quite a few years, but I think they came from Amazon. And there were 12 in a pack. Let's just get one out. They've got like a little, well, a thick plastic base here with a piece of adhesive sheet on that you just need to take the backing off. And then they've got this little plastic spring. And then they have a backing, which is like a clear acetate. And again, it's got a little adhesive wrapper on the back. Okay. But if you don't have these, and before I saw these, I used to make my own all the time. And it's so quick, so easy. So let me just show you. What I use is this kind of wire. It's not a thick gauge wire, it is crafting wire, and it bends really easily. Okay, so I use that, and I'm just going to cut myself about 6 inches. And okay, I just tend to cut them on this. We'll do it about, there we go. Okay. And then let's move that out of the way a little bit. And then all I do is, let me put those away so that I don't poke myself on them. Oh, of course, Jane. Yeah, now that you can all go to the States and all the snowbirds are going, they all need a test, don't they, before they go over? Yeah. Okay, so I've got my very fine piece of wire here, and I'm just going to wrap it round my Stampin' Right marker. Okay, so you end up with a little spring shape. Now, I have made them before as well, where I use florist's wire, this stem wire, but it's not a really thick gauge one. If you use too thick a gauge, your spring won't wobble. It will stand off and be a spring, but it won't wobble enough. So I have used this. This is 24 gauge. I like something just a bit thinner than this though, and this little crafting wire is just perfect. So the next thing you need is 2 little circles. I've seen some people where they adhere this part of the spring straight onto the card. I like to put it on a little circle, so I've got a bit more sort of adhesive that I can put on the card. It doesn't fall off so easily. And I just use my tiny little punch, this 3/4 of an inch punch. I make a couple, I don't need 3, just need a couple of little circles. It doesn't matter what colour. And then with my tear and tape, let's just cut a little piece off. Okay, you just need about 1/2 inch, 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 inch. Okay, and you put the end of one of the springs onto the top of the paper and just put that over the top. Okay, and that holds it onto that little piece of card. And then do the same again at the other end. Take off a little piece of tear and tape, turn your spring over, okay. And can you see how this is just going to catch the bottom of that spring on this piece of cardboard? It doesn't have to be anything special, but that gives you the wobble that you need. So you don't have to invest in these little wobble things. You can simply make your own. But tonight I'm using the little wobble thing. Okay, so he's all nice and dry. Yeah. Okay. Let's get the rest of our card base done. I'm going to put my Merry Christmas sentiment on before I put the little image on. So I've got my Misty Moonlight. Let's go back to that one. Where did I put it? Here it is. Okay, and I'm using a sentiment from a little snowman set that I've had a couple of years and is still in the catalogue. This Snowman Season. I love this sentiment, and Laurie will have seen me use it a few times because I use it in our card classes. I just think it's a really nice size. And so all I've got are some scraps of basic Whisper White, which are 3/4 of an inch. And just going to stamp up my Misty Moonlight. I'm not going to worry too much about positioning it, because I'm going to lay it over the card and then just trim the end off. So as long as it's straight, I'm going to be quite happy. I just have to move it down a little bit. I can't see it very well, and because I'm in my own shadow. Oh, that looks pretty good though. I'm happy with that. And then I'm just going to attach it over where the two pieces meet together. Okay. And you can choose which side you want your sentiment to go on. I just like to have mine at this side, and I'm going to glue it over there. You can choose as well, you know, how much of this overlap you cover up. You might want to cover and not have so much of the spots, not so much of the stripes, or right over the top. It really doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a line of adhesive down there. I'm just checking. There was a little piece that I could feel that I missed. It was just at the end there. There we go. And then I'm going to actually use these lines to make sure that it's straight. There we go. Just make sure it's adhered on there. And then let's trim off that overhang. What's everybody crafting at the moment? Are you all making your Christmas cards, or are you making sets of birthday cards? What's everybody doing? Oh, Laurie. Laurie's saying that she hasn't looked in the bags she picked up this morning. We have our Stamp with Colour class, which is a 6-month class, and it starts at the end of this month. And so Laurie came to collect her bag of things, just like a surprise. Oh, I think you'll like it, Laurie. Okay, so I've got a circle cut out of the Misty Moonlight, and I'm going to attach one of these really pretty, wonderful snowflakes. Let's just take one out. I find them tricky to take out because they seem to catch on each other. But they're beautiful, like a pearlescent kind of a finish. Let's just pop one out. I'm always worried that I sort of tear one in half taking it out, because they look really delicate, but actually they're not as delicate as they look. You can get them out quite easily. And I'm going to attach it with the pearlescent side facing up. I'm just going to pop it onto here. I did try putting just a little bit of glue on the back here, but once the little penguin's on, it doesn't stick so well, and you can't see it, so I'm just putting adhesive all across like this. You need a birthday card and a get well this week. Oh, I'm sorry somebody's not feeling well. Hi Janice. Yeah, I need to be making my Christmas cards too. I've made some, I just haven't made all of them. So, okay. And then I'm going to glue him on as well, and I think I'm going to have it so that once I put it on here, I haven't got any of these snowflakes sticking out. So I'm going to make it, so I've got the one that goes right down the middle, and that's where this little penguin will fit on. Now to attach him, you want the thicker plastic side to go onto your wobbly part. So you just need to take off the backing paper that I can't see where it's coming off. Doesn't want to come off at all. There we are. And it's got just that adhesive underneath. And I'm just going to stick it right on the back of my little penguin. I'm pretty sure this is the way you're meant to do it, but I always do it this way so that when anybody looks to see how it works, they're not seeing the big white piece of plastic stuck here. They're just seeing this clear acetate piece. But if you've made your own little wobble spring like I showed you, it doesn't matter which way you stick it, because it's just the same. And the joy of using your own little springs is they're a bit smaller. So you don't always have to have a backing piece, because this is a bit smaller and you can get like a smaller image on your own spring. I just like these because they're fun. I'm actually going to attach this to the card first. So let's put some glue on. Hi Janet! Making birthday and sympathy cards. Oh, I'm sorry you're making sympathy cards. I always try to have 2 or 3 in for sympathy cards when I don't really need them, because once you do need them, they're not the best cards to make, are they? Okay, now I've got my sticky side, and that's just going to go right in the middle of my snowflake here. And what I do is I just poke this on with my finger, but you could use a bone folder or anything. Okay, so there we are. There he is with his little wobble. Now to decorate it, you can put little rhinestones on. You could use the little silver shimmer sequins. These little ones, I haven't got many left, but you could pop those all on so it looked like, you know, little snowflakes or little stars. For this one, I don't know if the light is catching them. It's actually a retired set that I used. These are adhesive backed snowflakes where they look green and yellow and pink, and I thought it was just the right colour for this card. So I'll probably put those on as well, but the little rhinestones would look pretty too because they're so sparkly. So that's the basic of how to make the card. Oh, I'm sorry you've lost your neighbours, Janet. That's hard, isn't it? Especially if they're good neighbours and you're close to them. Then it's, yeah, I am sorry. Okay, so here's our basic little card. Okay, with that little wobbly bit on. Now, another one that I thought about making tonight was going to be using this little snowman. So I cut another layer in circle. I know I won't have time to make all of him, but let's just see if I've got my grey ink. Yeah, I'll probably just pop him on here, and let's get the stamp out, because this is a really nice one to put on the wobble things. Oh, just a minute. Just saw I had one, the other little snowman already stamped there, and this I've got in there on an oval. You could certainly do it on an oval and wobble. And then I've got the other little snowman here. You can pop him on there and have the little snowman wobble in. So that looked pretty cute too. This is just a bit bigger than the one I've got here, so it covers up a little bit of the sentiment. So you could certainly put him on as well. And the last one that I want to show you is one that I didn't even know I was going to make until I started to tidy my table ready to craft. And I found this little piece of embossed card that I'd embossed with the 3D folder that has the little pine trees on. And so what I did was I just stamped that same sentiment, and instead of having a strip across the bottom and 2 different layers of paper, I stamped across the top here, and I've got a piece of, this is mint macaron, I've got a piece of shaded spruce, and then I can put this just straight onto here. Let's glue that on. Oh, now because it's heavily embossed, I'm going to use liquid glue so that that glue gets into all those little nooks and crannies. Now, if if I had the hot light bulb, you would have been able to see all of this like embossing. It is really pretty. But instead of stamping an image, what I did, because I already had one on the table, was I took this piece of the paper with the little polar bear on, and see he's got this green in his scarf, which I thought would match the backing, and all I did was I layered it onto a piece of card. The paper on its own isn't strong enough to be a wobble card, so let me get the piece that I used. So this is even more simple. Let's just cut this out here. It's just a bit tricky to see. I can see I'll be buying a new bulb for this lamp ready for next week. Yes, it's just a little bit too dark now that the lights have gone, and we've moved. Oh, I'm going to stick this on card. We've moved that daylight savings time. Is that one big enough? No. Let's find a little piece of white. Okay. And I'm just going to glue the whole of him on. There we go. Let's stick him on here. You need the little piece that's going to wobble. You need it to be fairly sturdy. So a piece of card is better. You can't see the embossing. If I put this right up here, I wonder if you could. See the embossing folder. I'll have to just wait for the Facebook to catch up. Okay, so I move my. Can you see now, Laurie? It's got these little trees on. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so now I'm just going to cut round him. It's a little bit tricky because the light's poor now. And I must admit, I didn't really notice that extra hour in bed on Sunday. My body thought 6 o'clock, let's get up. But actually it was only 5 o'clock. And yeah, I'm still waiting to catch up on that hour. Well, this isn't my best fussy cutting, because it's on soft sea foam as the backing colour, and then white, so it's tricky to see. But there we go. So you get the idea. So I've got this little guy. I'm going to take the one that I cut out last week though. Okay, and all I'm going to do is put that little wobble spring on him. I'm not putting a backing piece on. Again, I'm going to take off that from the plastic piece. I'm going to put it right on the back of him, and I know that this fits. There we go. Move it down, and then I'm going to take the backing of the little acetate piece. I can see you making these, Laurie. And then I'm going to put it on top of this embossing here. So it's a little bit near the bottom. Press it down with my hand. Might need pressing a little bit more just because it's an embossed piece. So let's just push it down. There we go. And then, oh look, you don't even have to do any stamping and punching out people. Just use a little bit of your winter paper. This would be nice with the little deer on as well, on the other celebration paper that we got. Remember the little red and black deer? That would look really good with this as well. And then again, just pop, let's get some of these out, please. These little snowflakes. Just pop some embellishments on. You could tie a piece of ribbon across. On these ones where I've got the sentiment, you could put a little piece of ribbon across there. So let's find a pokey tool. I think you'll love making them, Laurie, and I think the kids would too. And just see how much fun they have playing with them. And again, if you don't have those springs, or you don't want to be buying any from Amazon, just make your own. They're so simple. Oh, having trouble seeing where the trees are myself now. There we go. Let's put another one on. There we are. So if I lift it up now, you can probably see the little sequins, or they're adhesive snowflakes, but really they are sequins. They're just a shaped sequin. Okay, and then there we go. And before I sent it out, I would put a little white piece inside. I might even cut another one of the polar bears out and pop him on the inside as well. Use some of the paper on the envelopes, and it's a cute little card. So need to find the springs already made. Okay, well, if I show you these ones again, as I said, I know you can get them from Amazon. So these I've had a few years. I don't know which the seller is or anything, but you can buy them in lots of places as well. I know, that big craft store at Beacon Hill, Laurie. I know that one that begins with an M. I know they sell them as well. But it's a fun extra little card. The kids love it. And you can make them for birthday cards too. Remember the dinosaur paper that we had? That would be pretty cute with a dinosaur on. So there we are. That's my little wobbly card for today. So here's our sizings. Here's my 2 cards that I made tonight. I'll pop the wobble spring here just so that you can see again the ones that I used. And let me find my little, and so here's my little spring just made with the thin wire, just like a crafting wire. It's really fine. It bends really easily. So that's all that I used. 6 inches of this and 2 little circles. So there we are. I hope you liked those, and again, I'm so sorry about the lighting. I thought I had it sorted for tonight with having the hot light. I didn't expect that the bulb was going to blow as I turned it on. So I will have it sorted for next week. Okay. All right, ladies. Well, I'm going to love you and leave you and move my shadow off the paper here. Have a wonderful week. If you need any more information about the cards I made, drop me a line. Or if you just want the measurements, here they are. And I'll see you all again next week. So take care, everyone, and I'll see you soon. Bye.